Morning. So today we're going to be trying our hand at a very popular subject at the minute, Woody Harrelson, the actor. He's changed a bit over the years, but generally he's nowadays got very little hair. He's quite hard to pin down because his features aren't massive. And I've seen a few people that have had a go at him and not quite got there. So we're going to give it a try in my kind of abstract way. And I'm hoping to make a studio piece of this afterwards. Okay, so this is the basics. As you can see, I've already done a pre-sketch because I've had to go over him a couple of times. He's quite difficult for me. There you go. Now, for Woody, his main features are the bridge of his nose and his jaw. Okay, so I'm going to start with his eyes and the bridge of his nose. That will help define him. Now, his eyes, basically, he's got real psycho eyes where he smiles, but he rarely has the bags underneath, you know, so he only half smiles. That was a bad impression. So we're going to give him kind of half smiley eyes. That will hopefully define him. Now I'm going to start with the crease over here. So he comes in from a crease, goes into sunshine eyes, as I call them. And same over here. His eyes are quite far set, so we want to set them far apart to make most of the bridge in between. There you go, sunshine eye, down into a crease and out. He's got blue eyes, so we're not going to make those too heavy. We're just going to do them kind of half smiling, so you've got a whole pupil there, more or less, with a shine. Just kind of half smiling, yeah? He's got some eyelids going on, although they're quite heavily hidden by the shadow on his brow. So we're going to give the direction of his eyes. If you look at him in shadows, direction of his eyes is like that, okay? Doesn't have strong eyebrows, so you can forget the eyebrows for now. So I'm going to do the definition up there. And there's a strong shadow. Same on the other side, going straight across, strong shadow, and down to indicate the eyelid. There's the inside of the eyelid, and basically this in between here to emphasize a strong bridge. Just going to make that dark and deep. Yeah, there you go. Okay, we can do the same on this side, more or less. Yeah, and that's his eyes. Now, his eyes do slope down slightly in general. So to indicate this without giving him droopy eyes, we can just use the bags underneath. I'm going to give a very subtle hint of a bag underneath, just going downwards, and then his creases, which again emphasise the slopey downness of his eyes. That's a technical term. His nose, basically from this side, his nose is slightly broken. From the other side, it looks straight. But from this side, I'm just going to concentrate on the straight beaky nose, which tends to be more him. There you go, you've got straight beaky nose. I'm going to continue the line because that line is basically going to come out of his neck. That's a bit of symmetry there for you. Nose is quite beaky, he's got hardly any top lip. So you don't have to worry about that. Bring it down as far as you can, like that, with a little lobe. Okay, now jaw is the next thing. He's got a huge jaw. It seems to have grown over the years. Jaw we're going to do protruding out here just to make, just to emphasise it basically. I'm not going to concentrate on stubble at the minute, although we can do. Here we go. We're going to do a nice strong jawline going straight across. Just line it up a little bit as it comes across this side. Went a bit crooked, but hey. You could do stubble going down here as well. I probably will add stubble to him, to be fair, because he's always got stubble nowadays. And that's the outside of the jaw. Now I was going to do the square, but he has actually got quite a nice curve leading into it. And also, if you do a curve leading into it that way, the eye gets drawn to the left, and that's your finishing point. So your eye starts up here somewhere and goes down there. So we're going to do stubbly broken line, stubble, and I would carry it on, but I can't be bothered. There you go, and that goes straight up there in a curve. Now the rest of his head, he's actually got quite a heavy furrow above his eyebrows, which you can't see in these black and white photos, but in other lit photos you can see. So I'm going to make those out of two curves. I'm already thinking of the way I'm going to construct it when I turn it into a vector, and I'm going to do this out of two curves. So here comes one of them off the top of his crease. Going to move it over this way slightly to make his eyes look, his eyebrows look heavier. So we're going to start over here, up here, just a fairly light line on the tip of the pen to a curve, and the same over here, down there. Now those are more construction lines than anything, okay? That's just going to show me how to build it later. Of course, he's got his famous crease, which will start off with a fat one here and just lighten it up. Goes right the way up there. All right. Now, he's also got some cheeky cheeks there whenever he smiles. Doesn't like to show his teeth. He's not very proud of his teeth, so he hides those most of the time. So he ends up pouting and going, covers his teeth with his bottom lip because his top lip isn't big, so I should really have done it up here somewhere. Anyway, but he gets a nice smirk on, so we're going to use, again, semicircles down here, which are going to come up and join his head. I may as well draw in the headline while we're here. He's got a very strong, prominent forehead, quite high up. His eyes, nose and mouth are all crammed down in the middle here, so you've got high forehead, low jaw. Yeah? So I've got to make it at least the same size as the jaw. So I'm going to do a nice big sweeping curve up here. If you want to, you can add a bit of fluffy hair, which he's got. Again, down the side here, I can strengthen up that line and give him some hair, which he's got up to there. Dome head, yeah. His ear is quite high. It's also, if you move the ear up, it emphasises the jaw down here. So the higher the ear, the bigger the jaw looks. So we're going to have it up here, continuing off this line somewhere with his joined up earlobe. It's going to go up there. Okay, and then the usual. And this is his other cheek. He's not particularly got prominent cheekbones, but he has got the smiley cheek. So we're going to give him, that's the heavy outline. And that's just going to be a continuation of the nose line, hopefully, more or less. That then becomes his top lip line. If you want to, you can then add his teeth. I can give a hint of his teeth. He's got a kind of upside down smile. He tends to smirk like that. So as you can see there, it goes up to down. So we're going to give him a slight little upside down smirk. Big heavy gap in the middle. Middle-ish. And a couple of other little gaps going on there. Alright, and that's more or less him. Oh yeah, and this line here continues down the side here and basically becomes the other side of his neck. Then you can stick him in jumper, suit, whatever you want. Eyebrow wise, I wouldn't sweat on it too much. He hasn't really got many. So you can give it a hint there. That's the top of the eyebrow line. How you fill that area there is up to you. A little hint of brow there. That's top of the eyebrow line. I'm just doing these lines here for construction, as I say, because this is going to become a vector very shortly. I'm going to add some shading here just to emphasise a few things. You've got the eyes there, makes them pop out. Yeah. So they're kind of smiling, only half smiling, yeah? So they're not squished, they're kind of half open. This, I can continue along here and do that. Don't really want to shade that too much, but could shade the eyelids there just to make them give him a menacing look. But you get exactly where the shading's going to go, yeah? Outside of the nose, under the nose, pops the nose out. We'll possibly have the V's in there as well. Yeah, under the eyes. Up to you how much shading you want to do. Under the cheek, emphasise the smile. We could emphasise the bottom lip. He's not particularly got a bottom lip, but we could give it some stubble there to be an indicator. And again, stubble on the top of the hair for an indicator. Bit of shadow underneath the chin, makes the head pop out, gives it 3 dimensions. And there you go, that's more or less Woody Harrelson. Not too bad. I'm actually going to fill in that eyelid. See what I mean? You fill that in and it throws it back, gives him darker eyes. When he comes out, we're going to have a graduated shadow over those anyway, so his eyes are going to sink right back and he's going to look a bit more menacing. Okay, so I'll show you when the vector's done. It's going to take, I don't know, 3-4 hours. Thanks for your patience. Cheers.